Welcome to Franchise Empires, where aspiring entrepreneurs learn exactly what it takes to become a successful franchise owner, from one location to 10 and beyond. I'm the Wolf of Franchises.
Hey everyone, it's the Wolf, and today on the show we have Andrew and Lawrence, the very first franchisees of Dave's Hot Chicken. Dave's Hot Chicken is one of the biggest brands out there today in the Nashville hot chicken space, and these guys have been there since the beginning. They explain what it's been like being the first franchisees on this rocket ship. I think you're going to enjoy this episode.
The Wolf of Franchises is the CEO of Wolfpack Franchising, as well as a creator at Workweek Media. All opinions expressed by the Wolf and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Wolfpack Franchising or Workweek. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions. The Wolf, Workweek, and Wolfpack Franchising may maintain positions in the franchises discussed on this podcast.
Well, Wolf, thank you so much for having us on the podcast. It's a privilege. It all started, over 4 years ago. So Andrew and I are best friends. We actually met through his mom, through our church, Lebanese church. And that's when the friendship started, through our heritage being Lebanese and just being small business owners. Andrew is one of the biggest Little Caesars franchisees in the country, actually probably in the world. And my background was gas stations. I became a Wetzel's Pretzels franchisee, and I was the first Wetzel's Pretzels franchisee to put a Wetzel's in a gas station. So that was really interesting. And then I got invited to a Dodger game by Wetzel's Pretzels. Bill Phelps, the CEO at the time of Wetzel's and also the founder, invited me to a Dodger game. And I said, well, let me invite my best friend Andrew with me and go attend the game together. I'm a Padre fan, so it's go to a Dodger game. But, you never know. We always say we'll take the meeting, right? It's always important to take the meeting and see where it'll go. So we attended the Dodger game, and we just had an instant connection with Bill Phelps. It was just very special connection, and it reached the point where he said, you guys will be the perfect first franchisees of my new concept, Dave's Hot Chicken, right? And we're like, well, we'll love to go see it. So like we're literally in the middle of the 7th inning, and we're like, well, can we go right now? He says, you guys are crazy, but yeah, go ahead, go check. So we left the Dodger game, went to go to Western, the first location, and the line was right there, like an hour wait. Tried the food. We're like, this is the best chicken sandwich we've ever had in our lives. This is so beautiful. This is so succulent, fresh, juicy. It was just to die for. And then Andrew and I were into taking pictures of memories, right? So it was like a very special memory. And so we took us right next to the logo, and we sent it to Bill, and we said, we're in. 100% we want to be the first franchise. We made the decision right then and there. This was too good to pass up. So we said, let's start off with San Diego, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's the story, the origin. And Bill took a chance on us, which was we thank him for that, the opportunity to be the first franchisees of Dave's Hot Chicken. It's an honor, and the founders are incredible. Their story, I think it's endorse our story with Dave's Hot Chicken. It's the ultimate American dream, right? Starting in a parking lot, $900, foreigners living the American dream, literally put their life savings into this business. And that's what that grew the foundation of what Dave's is today. The guys put their heart and soul into the business. Now the fastest growing company, the largest growing QSR company in the world, with over 200 locations worldwide.
Yep.
In Canada, Qatar, Middle East. So
now it's phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, what was the conversation like at the Dodgers game? Just was there a bunch of was there urgency, or were you guys just like, we got to check this thing out right now? That you left the middle of the game.
It's just that connection with Bill. We love talking business no matter what setting we're in.
Yeah.
Right? We're always, so it's just a natural fit. It just started talking about Wetzel's, Little Caesars. One thing led to the other. And, Dave's were a people first business, right? Our people come first. And we aligned with that on Bill. And like the concept being so simple, like in and out, right? It's
Yeah.
perfect chicken tender. So, and then Bill's like proven track record with Wetzel's Pretzels, Blaze Pizza. That was also like a positive for us. And that someone can line up for an hour in a parking lot and try a chicken sandwich, right? That was a nice value add as well. And so, we live by a saying like you miss 100% of the shots you never take. So it's a shot that we took.
Yep.
It was a calculated risk, and it's paid off.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, this was, if I'm not mistaken, right, this is during COVID too. So, right?
Right before.
Oh, it was right before. Okay.
Well, that we met at the Dodgers game right before COVID, and then we opened our first store right in the middle of COVID, May of 2020.
Damn. Okay. That's incredible. And I mean,
many, not a perfect time, but for us, it was the perfect time because our business model was built on third-party delivery, digital sales, right? And everything was closing and all the spotlight was on us. So everyone wanted to see how Dave's Hot Chicken would do outside of LA. Does great in LA. That's the core business. How will it do outside? And so San Diego was set the foundation and the footprint for the success that we have today.
Incredible. So yeah, I mean, let's, you guys signed a 12-unit deal to start, right, in San Diego. I mean, what was that like opening, I guess, that first franchise location, right? Where, I mean, San Diego, about, if I'm not mistaken, like a 3-hour drive from LA. So I don't know how much brand recognition Dave's Hot really has in San Diego at the time of you guys opening that first location. But, what was that like? Just, again, unit number one, hey, let's see if this thing can work in a different market.
Well, our CDO, our chief branding officer, Armand, also one of the founders, is literally a genius when it comes to marketing. And every Dave's Hot Chicken, there's always a line outside the corner. And this, in particular, the longest line in the history of all openings, still to this day. We had a line for almost a mile. So it showed us like this was a true cult following. People will come and line up for this food no matter what situation there is. Right? COVID, people didn't bother them. They were there. So the cult following was real. And for us, we believed in it. That's why we opened. We spent close to $1 million on investment because we believed in the brand, the business model, and we knew we were going to be successful because we had the right people. So we weren't afraid. Everyone was telling us to close, but we opened, and like I said, we took the risk, and it was well worth it for sure.
Incredible.
It was an amazing feeling. I think Andrew will agree to it. It's the best feeling till to this day that we've ever had, was opening that Dave's Hot Chicken PB. It has this special magical aura, this location for us.
Yeah, and Andrew, even from you going from Little Caesars to looking at a brand so young, was there any hesitation on your end? Just given, just the different stage of growth and probably resources that Dave's was at versus what you're accustomed to with Little Caesars.
Yeah, I think I always get nervous, any restaurant I'm opening, but particularly with Dave's. Thankfully, Lawrence, is my partner, and he's kind of got this special knack of kind of manifesting things into existence. So actually, when we took our check to put down for our franchise agreement, I have a video of Lawrence saying this is the beginning of 100 stores going worldwide with Dave's. And now we have a pathway to 100 stores and some international growth. So it's pretty interesting. I was obviously more like, well, let's open one and see how it goes. I mean, certainly there's, a framework which we distilled kind of the analysis, right? I mean, it was the best chicken sandwich we ever had. The unit volumes at the original store were incredible. I think at that time it was doing over 80,000 a week in sales, which, there weren't many brands doing 4 million 4 years ago. And Bill Phelps and his proven track record. And I just remember from the very beginning, he said, I want my franchisees to be rich. And I think he meant that both kind of, in terms of financially, but also metaphorically, like want them to be happy, wants to take care of them, wants to cultivate this really great franchisee-franchisor relationship. So, I mean, it was a calculated risk, but it was definitely a big risk for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and it sounds like even from that initial visit where you guys left the Dodgers game and there's a big line and you try the product and it's phenomenal. I mean, how do you guys think about that? Like, I think this is interesting because a lot of people who maybe aren't fast food or in the restaurant game at all, I think there's maybe a perception that this is all just very like commoditizable. But then you have a brand like Dave's who clearly there's a line at the door, and I'm sure there's probably a Chick-fil-A in LA, and there's maybe, I don't know if Raising Cane's is out there, but like, how do you guys think about that? Of like super young brand, like Lawrence alluded to earlier, that's kind of like an In-N-Out style menu where it's super simple, right? You know what? I should pull up the menu right now just to take a look at it. I mean, what do we have here? We've got tenders with fries, sliders, which is chicken tenders between two buns with fries.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much. There's like a couple of size variations, but it's the same exact thing. So, yeah, I mean, how do you guys like? Did that go across your head of like, well, maybe we should really think about, can this win versus Chick-fil-A or Raising Cane's, or I don't know, Zach? I know you guys did a deal in Atlanta now, which is home of Chick-fil-A and home of Zaxby's. So you guys are like really competing in chicken country. Yeah. What was there any mental calculus there at all?
We believe in the product and the people behind it. We specialize in hot chicken, Nashville hot chicken. That's what we do. And we believe we have the best product there is. So when you believe that you have the best product, the best people, you're confident, you can take this brand all over the world, because we believe in it with all our heart. We know that this is what the people love, the people have spoken, and the numbers show it. So, and also it's really important, like they say, like the chicken is our superpower, absolutely, but our people are really our superpower. We pay best in class. We pay just as well as In-N-Out Burger, Chick-fil-A. It's getting well incentivized people that they know that we have like a really good growth path. They want to be part of success, right? That's why, Usher's our partner as well, and wants to be a part of success. And we do the right things. Our core values, our mission statement. We want to change lives with a purpose. That's what we do every single day. You can look at our culture, and I would love to send you our culture video, but we invest in people. Some of our director of ops, some of our cashiers are now operating partners with equity. And for us, that's what it means. It's giving back, investing in our people, and then the rest will take care of itself.
And as far as these locations, and like, I know I definitely want to ask you about that Usher deal. Can you kind of give us an overall rundown, I guess, of the units you guys are signed on for versus what you've actually also opened already and have operating, and like, how many of those in San Diego versus I think for the Virginia Beach area is an area too. What's your kind of what's that breakdown like today?
Hey, do you want to take that one?
Sure. We're the exclusive area developers for San Diego County. In addition, we have several other territories, including the southern half of the state of Arizona, the entire state of New Mexico, El Paso, Texas, Louisiana, almost the entire state, Alabama, almost the entire state, the Florida Panhandle, half of Atlanta Metro, which Usher is our business partner in, and then most of kind of the coastal Virginia, Virginia Beach, going up to Norfolk and Richmond.
Holy crap! Those are some fantastic markets. And how many do you guys have open and operating today?
I think 13. So we're opening several a year. So the number
Yeah,
changes every kind of couple months. I think we're at
sure.
13 now, and we'll
Okay,
probably be at 20 by the end of the year. And I think our total development agreement spans around 70,
nice.
something like that.
Yeah, okay, great. Um, and from the opening timeline, because this is something, right? New brands, um, maybe aren't prepared for, but given this wasn't, some of the team members on Dave's wasn't their first go around, right? Um, and even you guys, right? Lawrence with experience with gas stations, then Andrew with Little Caesars. Um, you know, how do you guys think about expansion from like balancing the speed perspective of it, where you want to get those units open and cash flowing, and maximizing the territory you have, but then also being patient with location. And I imagine with a concept like Dave's, I mean, really any restaurant concept, location matters a lot, but yeah, just how do you guys balance that out with, like, again, the patience and but also just knowing, okay, this maybe isn't our A+ location that we wanted, but this can work.
Well, we have a blueprint that we follow. We stick to the criteria and we follow it. And we have like a very heavily invested organization chart. Starting with the CEO, director of real estate, director of training and development. So like our C-level positions, we're built to scale, and we're built to scale quickly. We made that investment early because we knew that in order to get to where we want to go, 100 plus locations, it has to be invested in the right people from the beginning. And so that's how we grew the company. It's just making that investment in our human infrastructure from day one. And that's really helped us scale.
Yeah, so just to elaborate a little bit on that,
Yeah,
Lawrence and I were aligned early on building a world-class management team to help us grow this business. So from day one, we hired a really experienced director of ops, and we just built the bench since then. So we're stacked right now to get to 100. We're not worried about it at all. In terms of site selection, we only want to open winners, quite honestly. So
yeah,
Dave's has been a great partner, and hey, take your time. We know we have a development agreement. We know we have a timeline. We know we have a store count we got to hit, but we want you to be successful. So they put their money where their mouth is, and they're patient with us, and they definitely want us to open winners.
yeah. And I mean, it's an interesting comment that Lawrence makes about, building a management, wanted to build a management team. Do you think that is almost what, I mean, it's like a bit of a shift in mindset from being, hey, I'm going to build Dave Hot Chickens to like, oh no, I'm going to build a management team that operates Dave's Hot Chickens. So do you think a first time or a single unit operator, maybe who, someone starting out as a single unit operator can have that mindset, or is there kind of an X factor in that maybe you guys have more capital resources and even just connections to operators, given the Little Caesars connections and gas station connections that and businesses you already own?
I mean, there's a saying like being cheap can be expensive, right? So we do everything best class with our build outs. We leave no stones unturned. Our investment in our people. We do whatever it takes to put world class development out there. So we believe in doing it the right way, or we'd rather not do it at all. So that's the philosophy.
It just depends on what your goals are. We came into this planning on being the biggest and best franchisee in the system. And so we've hired accordingly. So could a single unit operator do it? Sure. Does it take significant capital and resources and dedication? Yeah. But I don't think most single unit operators come in thinking we want to build, 100 unit portfolio. But I think the way I would think about that question is, where do you want to be a year or 2 years from now, and start hiring now to get you there? Because if you're already there, it's too late.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about Dave's Hot Chicken as a concept. Right. There's clearly some brand building expertise on their side, which that's like, I always think brand building is more of an art than a science. But let's talk about like the actual menu. it's obviously working. It's incredibly limited. Yeah, I'd love to hear. I mean, how do you think about that? Right, it reminds me. I know Lawrence referenced In and Out. It also just because it's chicken, like Raising Cane's, I think only has 4 menu items too. And it's like a mix again of chicken fingers and fries, and chicken fingers on a sandwich. Yeah, like were you guys initially like, I love that? And maybe how has that opinion changed, if it has changed at all?
You know, In and Out's the emulator brand for Dave's Hot Chicken, and keeping it simple is actually the genius in the product. We've added items along the way, cauliflower, for our vegetarians, but keeping it simple and perfecting the chicken tender is what's really led to where we are today. It's like I said earlier, superpower of Dave's Hot Chicken. Let's focus on that, perfect that. So that's what we loved about it, and it's staying true to the core values of the company.
The simplicity of the menu and of the operation is definitely on the positive attribute column for us. That was a huge appeal to it, and still is. Actually, one of our bigger fears is that it gets overly complicated, because I think it's easy to say, well, let's just add an LTO, or let's add this to the menu, or whatever else. And I think it's actually really hard to stay disciplined and focused and be the best in the world at what you're doing.
Yeah, I'd agree. As someone who definitely chases shiny objects from time to time, I think it could be pretty easy to really add to the menu. And yeah, like there's a video of Todd Graves, the Raising Cane's founder and CEO. He's on some podcast, and the host asked him, like, why don't you add anything new to the menu? And he talks about kind of what you're saying, just that they want to be the best in the world for their chicken tenders, and even just forget like sourcing a new product, working that into the kitchen, and cooking it. It's also just like, he was talking about his wait times in the drive-thru, and said how, like, even just adding options to the menu, all of a sudden, like, now the customer has much more decisions that they can make, and that's going to increase. Like, my drive-thru time is going to go up just because of that alone. And he's like, then our service, it seems less, efficient to customers, and it's all because I decided to add one menu item. So yeah, it was just super interesting to kind of, I was just thinking like, just add a menu item, but there's so many ripple effects to these things.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Well, moving more to the brand side, I mean, you nobody knows better perhaps than you guys, just the evolution of this brand. And again, I've already said it. I don't think a company can set out. I mean, you can have it as a goal, but there's no just like dialed in framework where it's like, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and I know that will lead me to getting all this celebrity interest. But Dave's Hot Chicken, does have a handful of celebrity investors, and they've definitely like become one of the cool kids on the block, for lack of a better way. I mean, what do you guys think? It has led to that. And again, you guys, I don't know if you've spoken to Usher. I'd imagine to some capacity you've spoken to someone on his team. So yeah, like why are people, wanting to be a part of this brand?
I think it's starting with a successful track record. You look at what Bill Phelps has done with Blaze Pizza, bringing LeBron James on board. I mean, that was an incredible move. Everyone knows LeBron James is all about winning, right?
Yeah.
And so that did at Blaze. And then he also did the same thing at Wetzel's Pretzels. So proven commodity, right? When you set the track record with 2 massive global brands like that, people want to be a part of it. And then Drake now is like our official ambassador of Dave's Hot Chicken.
Yeah.
And Drake came on board in the beginning. He believed in the concept from day one. Wasn't there when we had 200 stores. He was there from store 1. And that says a lot about his commitment to the brand. And then, we have the privilege to call Usher our business partner in Atlanta. And he's all about community, how he cares about Atlanta. He's from Atlanta. It means everything to him. I've never seen anyone give back to a city like Usher does. So we aligned on our core values with that by giving back to the community. And his kids loved Dave's Hot Chicken. He did a Reaper challenge with his kids last year, and that was really incredible, an organic one. And so he loves what we stand for. He loves the chicken. His kids love it, and he loves the people of the land and giving back. So that was just the perfect fit. And like I said, it's just such an honor to do business with him. We're opening our first site in Conyers, Georgia, in August. So everyone's welcome to our grand opening.
Nice.
It'll be going to be the first drive-through Dave's Hot Chicken in Georgia.
Amazing.
So when we went to meet with Usher in Los Angeles and finalize the deal points, he told us that part of a tradition in his household, just so you know, Wolf, there's 7 spice levels at Dave's, going all the way up to Reaper being the hottest.
Okay.
And so he said when anyone gets caught doing something in the house that they're not supposed to be doing, their punishment is they got to eat a Reaper from Dave's Hot Chicken. So it was already part of like his family culture. So it's really cool to have them all in the business with us. They've been nothing short of professional, great to work with.
Yeah. No. Okay. And I'm looking at it now on the menu. That's funny. No spice, light, mild, medium, hot, extra hot, or Reaper.
I'd like to also mention Chef Dave. Right.
Yep.
So this all starts with a chef-inspired, chef-driven menu. I mean, when you go to Dave's, you try the product, it's phenomenal. I mean, we truly believe it's the best chicken sandwich we've had in our lives. And Dave is still an active part of the business, always tweaking the menu, always trying to make it better. And I think that's where it starts, right? Also, it being from LA, sure, it's going to attract a lot of celebrities. But, you know, it's those two guys, Dave and Armand, Dave being the chef, Armand being the marketing genius, that have figured out how to create the best product and then create the best branding around the product. And I think that's what attracts a lot of people to it.
I'd love to learn more about the ops and the labor. I think you guys mentioned the third-party delivery. Is that a big part of the model? And if so, you know, you see there's a lot of negativity on that on third-party delivery, just from, you know, the take rates that DoorDash and Uber Eats are charging restaurants and all that. So yeah, I guess let's just start there. You know, how integral is that to your guys' business? And yeah, any commentary on just how you can actually make that work as a business?
Yeah, before third-party rolled out, we want to make sure it travels well. I mean, we're not going to roll out third-party if the product is subpar.
Yeah.
So it travels so well, so delicious. That was a big reason why we rolled out third party. And it's also the consumer wants it. The value of their time, right? Time and convenience. And so that's also like a calculated, you know, cost, right? So it's about 30% of our business. I see it continue to increase, and it's a convenience for people. People are willing to pay more for convenience if the product is great.
Yeah. And I mean, Andrew, especially coming from Little Caesars, right? Where it's right to takeout and delivery only at most stores. You know, do you guys have any, I don't know, efficiencies built out within just the delivery landscape that maybe your first time restaurant operator isn't thinking through of how to do this most effectively?
I think it's a pretty straightforward, simple thing. I think, you know, if you try to, Lawrence is right. The food's got to travel well, and people have to be willing to pay more for that convenience. I think it just comes down to those two things, and then you let the customer decide. So I don't think as restaurant operators we should take the brunt of that. I think leave it up to the consumer, give them the optionality, and if they want to pay more for it, we're happy to offer that.
Incredible. Yeah, no, that I guess that is all it comes down to. And yeah, I guess
I think the big thing is you just want to make sure it doesn't degrade the product or the brand, right? As long as you can do it in a way that's, you know, where customers are still getting great food and a great experience. And if there's some sort of hiccup in the process, they can reach out to you and you can troubleshoot it quickly for them. I think that's the big watch out, is make sure the consumer experience is still top notch.
Yeah, and it sounds like that's a big part of that's, you know, you guys both mentioned the food traveling well. Are we literally just talking the way you're able to like put it in. I mean, a lot of like you see a lot of DoorDash deliveries are in those like styrofoam foldable. I don't even know what to call it, but you just mean you can get the product and it's not ruined.
I don't think that. I don't think it's a packaging thing. I think it's just the product, the way it's brined, the way it's breaded, the chicken, just the way it's prepared. It travels really well. I'll say with Dave's, we do a great job putting customer sentiment at the forefront. So there's tons of ways for our customers to reach us, to give us quick feedback. We look at our reviews every single day. It's kind of one of the first things we look at. So we're making sure that guests are happy. We want their feedback. And if we, the ops are so simple that if we missed something, we need to fix it right away. And we make sure the customers can get a hold of us if they need to.
Incredible. And how how are you tracking that, I guess? Like that customer sentiment, right? Or is it literally just Google reviews, or I'm sure on like the websites, if someone has a complaint, they could do it. And obviously through DoorDash, you can do it, but I don't know if that goes back to you guys or if DoorDash just handles that.
We use an aggregator. We use an aggregator for all the Google Yelp stuff, and then we have another company, Tattle, that does direct consumer feedback.
Nice. Okay. Super interesting. When it comes to, I guess back to the menu, right? Do you feel that it's tough to pull off the strategy Dave has done with that simple menu because I feel like it relies on whatever your core product is. It actually has to be really, really phenomenal. Or do you think that restaurants should maybe, especially these new franchises, because food franchises by far, it makes up about 40-ish% of all the total franchise brands in America. Most, though, have a pretty expansive menu from day one, at least the ones I look at. And so, do you guys think that it almost behooves a restaurant to start really small and try this approach? Because it even with all the success stories out there, from a Dave's to a In-N-Out to a Raising Cane's, it isn't that common to see a new brand just say, hey, we're going to only focus on this core product and that's it. But I'm curious if you guys think it's actually, like, again, more beneficial than not.
Well, Bill Phelps always says great brands are built on great stories. So you need to start off with a great story, which $900 in the parking lot with the founders.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good story. And then you add, a chicken sandwich that people will line up around the corner for in the parking lot with one fryer. I think that those are two really special sentiments that make this business stand out against the rest. And if you have that, then you got something that's unique.
Yep. And when you guys look at kind of your journey with Dave's, is the North Star that 100 unit mark that was kind of, I don't know, maybe half jokingly said on the first signing, but is that kind of where your guys' focus is at for now? It's just keep building until we kind of build all these locations out?
The focus is changing lives for a purpose, right? It's helping people level up as we stay in our business and provide for their families and just create, hopefully, generational wealth for themselves. So it's all about the people for us now.
Amazing. Awesome, guys. Well, look, it's incredible what you guys have built. It's incredible what Dave's has built. So it looks pretty clear that they chose a great group as their first franchisees. So look, congrats on all the success thus far. I'm excited to see where both you guys grow. Is there anywhere online where folks who maybe want to follow your journey as franchisees, whether it's LinkedIn or a company website where they can go to just follow along?
Yeah, my Instagram handle is JosephLK87. You can follow me there.
All right, cool, guys. All right, we'll plug that in the show notes for the listeners, so you guys can go Follow him on Instagram. Yeah, guys. Well, look, thanks again. Maybe we'll have another episode in a few years to see where you're at with the world domination with Dave's Hot Chicken.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and can't wait to join on your next episode in the future.
Awesome, guys. All right, appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Franchise Empires. We're coming to you soon with actionable insights to take the next step on your franchise journey. So make sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you listen.